You're listening to Stories from New York, the official podcast of New York Gospel Ministries, in cooperation with SermonAudio.com.
On Saturdays, we have two chapels for the people. I refer to them as evangelistic chapels. For so many of the people that come into this building because they have a need for food are people that have yet to come to Christ. And our hearts are heavy for them, for many of them are elderly, older than I am, in their late 60s and 70s and 80s. And our heart is heavy as we look out on these dear people. They're our friends, they're our neighbors, people that have been with us for months, some of them even years. And yet their heart is still cold, their life dead in their sins. And would you pray especially this year that the Spirit of God would regenerate and bring new life to these people as they hear the preaching of the Word of God and the Gospel of God. I just started a new series this year in our evangelistic chapels, intending to preach, Lord willing, on the first 11 chapters of the book of Genesis. You know, those first 11 chapters are foundational to our understanding of the entire Bible. And of course, chapter 1 is foundational to those 11 chapters, and the very first verse of chapter 1 is the foundation to it all. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That was the text today in the evangelistic chapels. And my heart was heavy as I began to preach and just ask some general questions of the congregants. You know, who are you? Why are you here? How did you get here? Where are you going? And as I began to ask those foundational questions, I directed my questions to specific individuals that I saw, not calling them by name, but looking directly into their eyes and asking them those questions. And one man whom we've never seen before, it was his first day in the chapels. I looked at him and I asked the question, where are you going? And a few seconds later, he stood up and walked out the door. And my heart just broke for him. For in this space, you have an opportunity to come and to hear of the gospel of God, and how our God not only is a creator, but our God is a redeemer. You know, the first book of the Bible, Genesis, God created you. The second book, Exodus, God redeemed you. The third book, He made you a kingdom of priests unto our God, the book of Leviticus, and He numbered you with the people of God, the book of Numbers, and He entered into a covenant relationship with you, the book of Deuteronomy, that He might give you an eternal inheritance, the book of Joshua. And, you know, you just start reading the books of the Bible, and they tell us a part of God's salvation story. And we long for our neighbors and our friends in our community to come to know the gospel of God. So will you pray intensely? Because apart from the work of God's Spirit, nothing will be accomplished here. Yes, we pass out food because people have pressing needs, and they come to get help with their food, and God shows His love by giving food and clothes, Deuteronomy chapter 10. But the text previous to that incredible statement in Deuteronomy 10 is the text, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. And so that's why we do what we do, and the way we do it. We give them the word, and we provide them with food. So pray intently for us this year that God would use the study in the book of Genesis, chapters 1 through 11, to rescue people out of the darkness of their sin, out of the dominion of the serpent, for they have fallen asleep in the lap of the evil one. And it is going to take a miraculous intervention on the part of God and the Spirit of God to rescue these dear people. So thank you for praying for us here in the city.
You've been listening to Stories from New York, the official podcast of New York Gospel Ministries. NYGM is strategically located in the heart of Manhattan and seeks to spread the good news of the message of Jesus Christ by the way of daily food distribution, the International Training Center, and the International Preaching Station. We invite you to learn more at sermonaudio.com/NYGM.